Shalom, shalom, and grand risings to others. Welcome to the Black News Network, the real voice of Black USA. Pardon the technical difficulties, but we are here and we got a great show lined up for you today. We're going to talk about self-sufficiency. That is what the deal is, and that is what we're going to cover today. But before we go into that, there's a couple of things I wanted to relay in the news. One, Netanyahu stood in front of the damn Congress and said that there were idiots outside protesting against the war that they have against the Strip. But he's wrong for that. And the American people allowed him to do it. That is the problem, and that is what we should be addressing right now. The second thing is there was a young lady, Sonia Massey, who was murdered in her own home after she called the police. I don't have to go into details about it. Everybody in America know that that cop was messed up and he shouldn't have been a cop at all. So we don't own the rights to the music, but we do own the rights to what we say. We're going to be broadcasting today from a Black perspective. We have a co-host, and our co-host is none and only Mr. Claude Foster, and I want to welcome him to the show.
Hey, brother, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey, I'm glad to see you.
You got two open. Look, if I can do this. You got two things open. I'm going to close one.
Can you hear me now?
I'm going to try to do it. If it go out, just log right back in, okay? Let's see what happens.
Can you hear me now?
No, I can't do it. You got two on, Claude, so I don't know how to get one of them. I don't want to kick you off because it might not let you back in, so I don't want to do that. Is it any way for you to take one of them off? Go across your tabs because you got to have two tabs open. You put one of them on mute, okay. Put the other one on mute because that one is the one that's up. I'll take this one down, put the other one up.
Can you hear me now?
All right, now I put the one up that's not muted. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I can't hear you. Let's get ready to rumble.
Oh, let's get ready.
There you go.
Hold on.
All right, sounds good. All right, none other than Mr. Claude Foster. We just brought him on, and his audio is good. His video is good. So how you doing, Claude?
I'm doing good, my brother. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Had a long weekend. I went out fishing this morning, and as soon as we get out there, we out there about an hour. It started raining, so we had to come on back, man. The clouds was really dark coming across that lake, so it was time to go. So we had a good morning, though. What do you think about it?
Well, like you, I saw the press conference with Netanyahu and the presumptive nominee for the presidency, Kamala Harris. So Netanyahu seems like he was a little bit of, wasn't satisfied with where that press conference went.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of scary. I mean, Iran don't mess around, and I mean, Israel was in the last, the Jewish community, the Jewish world was in the last World War. So who we elect president is going to be really important.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, the shooting in of all places in Illinois,
Mm-hmm.
the founding city, where you had the race riots,
Mm-hmm.
is history might be repeating itself, my brother.
Mm-hmm. It was in Chicago or what? What was
it was in Illinois, but it was in the significant city in Illinois. I can't think of the name of it.
It wasn't shooting. Did anybody die?
Well, the young lady, the cop shot.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking
And you
about
know
that.
what? That's where they're having the motorcycle. It was in Springfield, Illinois. That's it.
And you notice the significance
That
of the
is
school.
where the motorcycle rally is this weekend. I
Well, they're
mean,
having a
today
number of
is
rallies
the last
around the
day.
country. Yeah, they're
Huh?
having a number of rallies around the country.
Yeah, it's called the Roundup. Probably 20, 30,000 black bikers come up there and have a good weekend. They started Wednesday, and today is the last day. So that's something. It's so much stuff going on. Even at the Olympics, there's some stuff going on. The Jews wear this hat.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know the official name of the hat, but the French,
The burqa, I think it is.
yeah, the French government will not allow them to wear that during any event. They said you can't wear it on any event. They told the women that you can't wear the Israeli women's and
Well, you know why? Because they don't, yeah, they don't want terrorism. Yeah,
they said they can't wear that either.
yeah.
So how the people, the women that wear this thing got a choice to make. She's either gonna violate her rules in her country, her native country in the Middle East, or she gonna violate the rules of the Olympic Committee. So she got a choice to make. And it's up to them. I mean, one way or another, they're gonna either compete or they're not gonna compete based on this thing over your face and based on that hat that the Jews wear.
Well,
So it's a little bit of good news. You know, when that girl got shot, though, I felt it in my heart, man, because she just seemed so innocent. I mean, I don't know if you can get much more innocent than that.
Well, back during slavery, back during segregation, there were certain words that black people couldn't say. They were just irate white people, and those words seemed to irate him. You know, the reference to Jesus Christ seemed to just tear at him.
Ooh,
That he got to the point of just, well, you saw what he did on live TV. But I think it was her word. It wasn't her actions.
Mm-hmm.
It was the words.
Yeah, he just automatically pulled that gun and started shooting, man. Anyways, let's get down to the nitty gritty of why we're here today. We wanted to talk about self-sufficiency because I feel that we have to figure out how to start providing for ourselves without depending on everything from them. One of the things I do every year, I grow a garden. I have my tomatoes, my collard greens, my peppers, my okra, whatever else I can put in there. I put it in the garden. I had a big load of squash this year too, but my squash plants, after I started bringing the squash off, they kind of died, and so I just pulled them up and throw them in the compost pile. But that's a good thing to do, is to try to figure out how you can grow a garden. That's really good. We're going to demonstrate today just how you can start doing these kind of things. So you want to say anything before we start going down the list, Claude?
We got food. Let's go right into the list. Yeah, let's go right into the list.
Let me tell you what I got on the list, though. We got food, transportation, clothing, empowerment, education, housing, power on the bottom. The last thing, because it creates power. It creates power within you. It's like God said, we build that temple right here in you. That's what we want to do. Go ahead, Clark.
Well, understanding everything you just said, but I think first we gotta create an independence of thought.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's heavy.
Because we gotta have an independent of thought before we can have an independent of action.
That's really heavy. Independence of thought.
You know, and so I think we've been trying to. I think as Americans, like you always say, I think we're just confused about that process.
Mm-hmm.
Are we truly a part of the whole,
mm-hmm.
or are we separate from the whole? I mean, every week you show that map, right, of our independence. We created cities, but I grew up in Alabama, and I tell people all the time, like segregation not only affected black people, it affected white people. It was the law of the land. Slavery was not just the enslaved, but the people that weren't enslaved, that didn't believe in slavery.
That's right.
Because that was the law of the land. So how do we become independent within ourselves so that we can do all the independent things you talk about on your list? How do we develop that independent thought? Because everything, you're an ex-military guy. I'm an ex-military guy.
Right.
Our generation that went in the military, where I came from Selma, Alabama, and the people, you were either you didn't have to sign up like you do today to vote, to be a part of something. You were either in the movement or you were not in the movement. But that was no formal process to be in the movement. And so how do we do that in terms of our independence? Because everything is geared in this society to being inclusive, to being part of, to think of ourselves not as independent black people, but as Americans.
I think one of the first things we have to establish, Claude, is the need, what we really need, and what we want. Because right now, most of our people put the want in front of the need, and I think, like you said, we got to train our mind to reverse that and only consider the things that we need before we start buying the things we want. Now, we want to live in a luxurious apartment for $2,000 a month, but our income and our salaries cannot afford $2,000 a month just for rent in a high-rise building. So that means we're going to have to get something within our budget and within our pay scale, because if we don't, we're going to find ourselves upside down. We're going to find ourselves working to pay bills, and that's all.
Okay, I'm going to give you a number, 35,000.
35,000.
I was one of 35,000 black men on a call the other night in support, hosted by Roland Martin, my frat brother, and it was mostly fraternity brothers, people engaged in some kind of organized organization. And 35,000 brothers raised, I think, $1.3 million. Okay. Black women, on the contrary, raised $1.5 million.
How many was at their meeting?
Their numbers, I think their numbers were less than the 35,000 number that we had. And so what does, from a just purely from a societal point of view, in terms of our ability to raise a certain amount versus our women's ability to raise a certain amount, what does that say?
What does it say? Tell me. I don't know.
What I think it points to that lack of independence that we do have, because we're in a capitalistic country with no capital.
But we got money. We spend $1.7 trillion a year in America.
Spending is different than having.
But we spend it on what we want. That's the deal. So
it's like I tell people, like, we don't have any kings or queens or whatever in America. You are defined by what you got. And the sad part about our existence in America is, since we're not the standard of the people that got it, we're trying to be like those people. Like white America the middle class was created by white America.
I think people have to understand that these people had 300 years of advancement on us. Let's put ourselves on a track at a high school.
We don't have to go back.
They went around this track 300 times before We even left the starting block.
We don't have to go back 300 years. Just go back after World War II, when white suburbs were created at the exclusion of black folks.
Yeah,
land and home ownership is how your wealth is created in this country. We were denied those opportunities.
And no employer will pay you the reasonable amount that you should be paid for the work that you do. Now, you're going into a job to make money, but you cannot spend 30 years of your life making money to pay bills. So what we want to talk about today is how you can reverse that need and want and put the need in front of the want. That's what I would love to get accomplished today. And how can we do that? I think we can start with food. Now, Claude, you know the different restaurant chains, the Papados, Red Lobster, Olive Garden, Chili's, and a few other restaurants out there. Some of those restaurants can have some really cheap menus, and some can have some really expensive menus. So if you're going to Papados and you work in a warehouse driving a forklift making $30,000 a year, then you're basically taking money from your family for something that's going to go away in less than an hour. I mean, you're going to sit down in there and they're going to charge the hell out of you. And then you're going to eat that food and then you're going to leave. And then look, you just paid that man, what, $65, $100 of your hard-earned money. You got to realize.
Let me ask you a question.
You get it. Huh?
You're from Mississippi. You went fishing this weekend, right?
Yeah.
I went fishing, but I didn't go to catch fish. I went to buy fish. But the people that controlled the fishing industry that I went to buy the fish were all from Korea. I mean, from Vietnam.
Somewhere else.
Not here.
They took over Corpus Christi, you know.
When you look at the catfish industry in Mississippi and Alabama, who runs it?
Delta Pride.
Black.
Delta Pride Catfish is owned by. I grew up on Delta Pride. My family worked at Delta.
Now it's owned by black folks.
Yeah, but black folks doing all the filleting and all the work.
But they own the company.
Black folks own it.
Oh, okay.
Black folks don't own. I don't know what black folks own in Mississippi. I don't think they own anything. These white folks are smart as hell when it comes to the way they got that shit set up. They got little bitty towns all over Mississippi. And around those towns are thousands and thousands of acres. And those thousands and thousands of acres are for farming. And then the little town is there to supply the people to do the farming.
Right.
It's a damn strategy that they've applied for damn near the whole state of Mississippi, and it freaking works. Because the little town, I grew up in a little town with 900 people, and everybody in that town worked for them white folks in them damn fields, or they cleaning their houses, they doing something for them damn white people in my hometown. I go down there and I get so damn frustrated because I see this shit, and it's over their head. Seem like sometimes they don't care. I couldn't do that.
Well, I think part of did you see on the video today where this white guy and some of his black friends went to this restaurant in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and the owner asked him why was he sitting down eating with them niggas.
Yeah, I did see that, and the white boy tore his ass up though, did that?
But I guess what I'm saying is, you talk about independence, food, but why don't we continue to do that? Why don't we continue to allow
to push ourselves into the air environment? What are you talking about?
I was at this barbecue place yesterday, right? It's a mainstream barbecue place where it's called Bighorn. I don't know whether you ever been to Houston, but it's a barbecue place called Bighorn. I haven't been to Bighorn. Called Bighorn. They're in Manville and they're in Houston. And a couple of limousines pull up, right?
Mm.
And the black folks got out of the limousines. They had just really buried their loved ones that came over to Big Horn to eat. Now, this is all owned by white folks. And I said to myself, you would never see white folks go to the This Is It restaurant over in the Third Ward.
They wouldn't go to a black restaurant doing the
Ever.
same thing.
You would never see that.
It can be identical. If it's in the black neighborhood, they will never show up there.
Now,
we really don't own the shit.
Do they spend are they spending their dollars more wisely than us? Because can you blame them for supporting their own? We don't.
And that one man that called them people niggers, you know, he's just one out of thousands. That's when I was talking about those 10,000 white men and women, and there was 5 rattlesnakes inside that 10,000, but we don't know which ones are the rattlesnakes.
Why do we continue to do that? Knowing about the rattlesnakes that Muhammad Ali talked about, why do we continue to do that? Why do we continue to shop? Why do we continue to spend our dollars? Why aren't we more self-sufficient? Why don't we understand?
We continue to do that because we have that need to gain things, but we do have wants that we're still flourishing in. We need to stop. You're right about that. As long as we keep partaking in their bullshit, then they're going to keep dishing it out to us. We're finding rats and cats and everything else in our food, but we still go back there. I don't see why people still going back to these damn Chinese restaurants. Look like a fucking ghetto house, and he's selling Chinese food, and black people are the only ones in there.
And
he's in the black neighborhood.
And disrespecting the black folks, and you look at the amenities and so forth, but we do it.
Yeah. So they'll disrespect a black person while everybody in there black and nobody say nothing like a.
I went to Selma. I was in Selma, Brother Bay, and there was a Chinese restaurant, just like you said, in the black community. Because all of Selma is the black community, right? I mean, it's a majority black city, 80-some% black. And so we're in line, and these Korean Chinese people were disrespecting the black folks. I had to make an announcement in front of everybody. I said, why are you all here shopping and letting these folks talk to you that way? Letting these people disrespect you.
They continue to do it. Even in the hair store, right? When all these women going in these hair stores to get them some hair, they follow the women around the damn store. And you know, people steal. But more than black people steal, black people fight black people, white people fight white people, and more of them die than us. But the spotlight is on us. They 3 times bigger, more people die by guns and everything else with the white folks, but they don't say shit about that. And when you look at the graphics, that if you look it up online, you're gonna see the graphics. It looks so damn distorted. It looked like the black people are the worst category in all things. But the truth of the matter is the white people are. They are the ones who are doing all this dirty shit, but they don't talk about that. That's why it's the center of fucking attraction. So food is a big issue, though.
So before we can get to independent actions to do what your program is about, we got to get the independent mindset.
Let's talk about the mindset. What created the mindset? We just talked about what created it. Now let's talk about how do we reverse it. I think go ahead, Claude.
I think after slavery, this idea that black people are inferior, et cetera, is part of what's ingrained in America. And I think that we, the whole reason many of us joined the military was because we thought if we go and fight for our country, that notion would disappear.
That ain't why I joined.
Well, a lot of people joined for that reason.
I'm gonna tell you why I joined.
Before your generation, I'm talking about the Medgar Evers and folks that went into the military. Yeah. Not our generation, the generation right before us. So we're not talking about 1865. We're talking about the generation right before us. The Korean War, World War One, World War II. The reason why blacks were in the military because they thought that they could challenge that mythology about black people.
Mm-hmm.
And they came back home to do just that and were treated worse than the black folks that never went into the military.
The mentality is we already think we're less, and I think it's ingrained in our DNA because our parents passed that shit on to us, and it's stuck like glue. We're not passing everything that they put on us about white people, but some of the things that they taught us as children, it's ingrained.
But it ain't just ingrained in us.
To resist it.
But it ain't just ingrained in us, brother. You could be taught something, but it was backed up by state, federal law. It wasn't just the fact that somebody said you wasn't no good, but if it's backed up by law, by customs law, and the federal government.
The black codes, when they did the 14th Amendment, they came out with the black codes, or in the Emancipation Proclamation, they came out with the black codes, and the federal government, this is Dred Scott issue. They went and sued the state trying to get those black codes removed and about the things that they were doing to black people. And the federal government said, yes, we can create these amendments to the Constitution, but we cannot go in a state and regulate what an individual will do. So basically, y'all got carte blanche. You can go to work on everybody. But let me see, this mindset that we got, Claude, I think many black people are afraid of white people. And I think we fight each other because we're mad at them subconsciously. So we take it out on our brothers and our sisters. And there's been other incidents, you've seen some cases where you're mad at somebody else and then somebody just got in the way and you took out
but Brother Bay, we have a gold mine. Look at the cities that are controlled by black people that white people have abandoned. Like East St. Louis, Selma, Alabama, Jackson, Mississippi, that's got land, that's got all kind of opportunities that we're not taking advantage of. Because our mind,
we don't want to participate. That's what I'm saying. We don't want to participate because of our mentality. We got to reverse it. Man, you're so right when you said that.
How many vacant lots? If I took you to Selma, everybody in Selma could have a community garden. Jackson, Mississippi, everybody in Jackson could have a community garden.
Their own vegetables.
East St. Louis, Missouri, everybody there can have a community garden.
So what would be your first thing? What would be one thing that we can walk away with to reverse the way we think it?
I think, Brother Bay, education. I think we gotta come to this understanding of just what it means to be American, and we gotta. It's psychological, Brother Bay. It's a psychological undoing. I'm not qualified. I'm not a psychologist, but this need to be an American based on a white standard. I don't know how to undo that.
I got an idea. We look at white people as the everything. I mean, subconsciously, black people, I ain't gonna say we always do it, but many of us always think that we're below the white people no matter what. I mean, we could be making the same salary, but we kind of feel that we're below them no matter what. So how to reverse it, in my opinion, first of all, you look at them like they ain't shit. And I don't give a damn if they're your boss, they're your director, they're the owner of the damn company. If they do something that violates your civil and personal rights, then you address it right then. Don't give a damn about if you lose that job, because when you went there, you were looking for a job. When you leave, you can be looking for a job. They don't own you, and
Now
a salary ain't nothing but something to take away your dreams.
I will say this now. There are places in the South where black people are getting have broke that code, like Atlanta, where you have black middle class neighborhoods based on a black standard, not gentrification standard. So it's happening, but Atlanta is far outpacing the rest of the South.
Yes.
The major cities in the South outside of maybe Atlanta and Charlotte are dying.
And
Birmingham,
Jackson's going backwards. Jackson, Mississippi is going backwards.
Right, Birmingham. So the major cities outside of say, and Georgia is Atlanta, or the metro Atlanta area is gaining population from Mississippi, from Alabama, from Arkansas, from the rest of the deep South states. So I think that's a good example, and that to me that illustrates that there is that we're getting it, that we're starting to get it. But when you look at the all black suburbs in Georgia, they don't have no commercial development. They just got a bunch of houses that incorporated themselves.
What about grocery stores?
They don't have them.
So
because commercial, because we don't own them. We don't own them. So
and the people that do won't put one in the neighborhood
because it's black.
You know what I heard? Once you put Starbucks somewhere, Starbucks is like the front runner. From what I understand, they always put a Starbucks where there's nothing, and then the next thing you know, everybody there. You got every store you might want there. They're there because Starbucks started it. So in other words, Starbucks does the research to figure out where to locate the next store, and they locate it there, and next thing you know, it's populated. So I mean that strategy is not bad if they're doing the studies, and it's
I don't know of any. I don't know of any direct. I'm sure that there are black farmers that are selling their produce to major wholesalers.
Black farmers, man, that's been something too. Like
they've been awfully quiet.
Not gonna give us what they supposed to.
Did black farmers ever get their justice? Or is that still being?
No. The federal government let them down. The state let them down. But they're not dead, but they're shrinking, and they don't have all the time the resources that they need because they are promised so many things, but they don't get it. But white farmers, on the other hand, are paid for the annual crop without growing a damn leaf. That's what the federal government do. Say, all right, Mr. Billy, don't you put no soybean in this field this year. We're going to cover the expenses for it. Don't worry about that field. And they do that to keep the prices regulated. They're like cotton. In the United States, we can produce so much damn cotton, it ain't funny. But certain people, certain landowners are told, all right, don't produce cotton this year because we got a surplus of cotton and we don't need no more. So they can keep that price right there where they wanted it.
But when you look at the states that produce the produce kind of stuff, like Iowa, like Nebraska, it's like
Idaho potatoes.
Yeah, Idaho. Like white people got a lock in certain industries. But I was listening to something the other day, and it was saying, out of I think 5 Americans are millionaires. 5 with Smith, the guy that made that donation, being at the top of in terms of the wealthiest person, but it was minuscule compared to
99% billionaires, 95% of us.
And so, in Alabama, I mean, there are black supermarkets. They got 1 store or 2 stores.
Blacks own it.
Black owned. They're trying to operate in the black community. But then, them same communities where they trying to make a life, black stores come in a big Walmart and runs them out of business.
And that's right. Walmart is the reason for demise all over the country. But I want to go back to that mindset. We're going to get that settled first. So my impression of changing the mindset is the focus. Because if you're doing let's say you're doing a presentation, right? What is one of the things they always tell you? Look at them like everybody naked. That's what they tell you. If you're going to do a presentation to somebody and you look at your audience like everybody's naked, you're going to laugh and you're going to have a good time doing your presentation. It's setting your mind up to have a great time doing your presentation. So if you stop looking at that white man as your boss or your director, then you got it made. You look at that white man like he's another human being, no matter where he is on the stratification system. It doesn't matter.
There's a brother when I was working on council, and he called the council. He called me at the council office. He wanted the council member to come just introduce himself, and because he wanted to stand beside him. Now he was one of your homeboys from Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
He graduated. He had his degree and everything, and he worked for the office the appraisal district.
Mm-hmm.
But he had never been promoted. He had more rank than everybody there, more education, more experience. But he had never been promoted. But he wanted the council member who was black, and he was black, to come there so that white people would see him with the council member and give him some power, what he thought perceived access to power.
So it's right in our face.
But that's and I ask black people all the time, I said, especially conservative blacks, to tell me how good they were and how valuable they were. I said, well, how come your name ain't on the top of ain't on the 15th floor, and if you're that good, why isn't your name on the building?
Mm-hmm.
Why isn't it your company? If you're that good, because conservative blacks try to tell you that we don't see. They don't bought to the American myth that if you work hard, you play hard, you study hard, you can make it.
You can get the American dream, but you got to change your mindset.
That's a lie.
Let's go to the next thing we got on here: transportation. Black people, when they think they own a certain level, they will definitely go get a Lexus, a Mercedes Benz, a BMW. These are the cars that gives you the status. But I look at a car like transportation. You buy a car that's suitable for whatever you are doing at your work site.
Again,
you don't buy a car because of the name or because it gives you a particular status. That's what our problem is in a big case. We cannot be self-sufficient if we're spending a big ass $700 or $800 car note, and that's not acceptable for any of us. But some of us making shitload of money can do that. But if you down at the lower level, you cannot buy those cars because the maintenance will kill you.
But brother, Jay-Z, the more money Jay-Z makes, right? The less auspicious he is. You don't see him with name brand clothes. Because when you got real money, you ain't trying to impress nobody.
That's right.
So the more money he makes, the less you see him with name brand crap, fancy cars and all this kind of stuff.
Even cars, clothes. We can do cars and clothes together. I see guys with these 35-inch rims on these Impalas and these little old Chevrolet cars. How much do you think those rims, a set of those, they don't buy those rims, they rent those rims.
Right, that's a fact.
I think they need to get them damn places out of our community because they're just ripping people off.
But brother, when you've been psychologically damaged and you don't understand really who you are, you'll come up with anything to to the whole slave culture is people
Who you
want,
trying to impress though?
basically. I mean, you look at black people. They're not buying new BMWs or Lexus. They're buying used BMWs. And there wouldn't be no used BMW car loss and Lexus car loss for black people.
And if you're gonna buy one, you need to buy a new one.
And so it's back
With
to
the
this.
maintenance, with a maintenance
No matter what subject we bring up on this BNN 247 and trying to educate people, until you deal with the mindset, the mind, until we straighten out that mind, get that mind right, we're not.
We gotta go from the need to the. We gotta go from the want to the need. And right now, I want the biggest damn Ford truck they make. I don't know what it is, but that's legal to park in a neighborhood. That's the Ford truck I want. But I ain't gonna go out and spend 200 or 150,000 to get a damn truck. That's stupid as hell to me. I'm gonna stay with him.
You got the Dred Scott decision up there for a reason. I mean, you got the background of Dred Scott for a reason. What did Dred Scott do?
Dred Scott sued to be a citizen.
Right.
They would not. They told the Supreme Court said, "You are not a citizen. You black African Americans, black cannot be citizens in the United States." The Supreme Court said that. That's my impression of Dred Scott.
Yeah. And what impact of that decision? How did that decision impact black people?
It set black people back to slavery, because if they're saying, if the Supreme Court is telling you that you can never, it says never in there too. I read that.
Right.
You can never be a citizen in the United States. Now, then you come up with the 14th Amendment saying you're a citizen. So you got a lot of little steps in there, and if you go to court to try and prove that you're a citizen, you're going to get slapped back down because you're really not.
Well, the 14th Amendment didn't say, okay, black people, you're a citizen. It didn't mention black people.
No, it didn't. Not at all.
It just says that people born here, that people that were born or naturalized were citizens of this country. And like I told you, the Republicans at that time said they didn't want to mention black folks because it would be political suicide. And that was true then, and it's true now.
That's when they wrote the Constitution.
Now, you got to admit, Kamala Harris has been mentioning black folks. But
let me get this out before I forget. Did you know that there are 2 countries here?
Well, I think that there are 50 countries here
in the USA. Let me tell you why I'm saying that. There's a country, there's a country, and there's a corporation. When you do, let's do the Pledge of Allegiance. All right, come on, go with me. I pledge allegiance
to the
flag
of the United
States of America,
and to the republic,
and to the republic.
And that's the
2 organizations there. They're not. They putting it in front of you. They're telling you what it is. And to the republic. What the hell is the republic?
For which it stands.
Do you know what it is?
I haven't really delved into it, but
it's a corporation, brother. That's what the republic is the corporation in America. They telling you in the Pledge of Allegiance, you pledging to the corporation and to the country.
And to the company.
That's what you're doing. Anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there. Right. So it's in there.
But I guess to go through your list, and I hope we can go through the list.
Yeah.
I just don't see how we can get there until we address these fundamental issues. And
we can only address it so deep. We're not psychiatrists or anything. We can tell people that the only way you're going to change is to change. If you want to change. You cannot keep wanting things and spending your hard-earned money on it and you want to do something different, like going to the casinos. If you ain't got no money, stay at the damn casino.
But can black people have that independence since we're bounded so much by our skin color and skin tone? So can we have that independence? I mean, I've talked to military folks. I said, man, why you continue to do that? It's tradition.
Some of us don't know we can do that. You know, I've seen so many people that say, oh, no, we can't do that. How the hell you figure you can't do that? You can do whatever the hell you want. Now, going to Walmart with black and white people in my hometown or the next town over, that's where the Walmart's at. Black people will take that basket and knock shit off the shelf, getting out of the way of white people. And white people will not say, excuse me, in Walmart. So I block aisles. I go in there and block aisles. My brother go in there, and I'm sorry to tell you, he goes in there when he see him coming, he farts.
Yeah, I haven't tried it. So what you're saying is a white person would not say excuse me?
Hell no, not in that Walmart next to my hometown. They will not say excuse me. They'll stand their white ass there until you move. So when they do it, when I saw one do it to me, I stood there till the damn cows come home. So they went on and did something else. They would not say excuse me. They don't say that to black folks. They in Mississippi, they leave the fucking trays on the table. They leave. When you go to McDonald's and eat, you normally throw away your stuff, right?
Right.
White folks don't throw that shit away. They leave it on the table.
In Mississippi?
And the black folks get it.
Because the black people working there, yeah.
Which is asinine to me. I mean, come on now. Common courtesy is to put your shit in the trash. But see, that's that mindset you're talking about.
I haven't noticed it, but I'll look for that next time I travel.
We was in Beaumont one time on our way to Atlanta on the bikes. And the white man came over there and sit down and said, where y'all Negroes going? And I was about to go the fuck off, but the other guy with me said, man, don't do nothing. Don't say nothing because
he said, where y'all Negroes going?
Yeah. He was an old farmer. He was trying to be friendly. I believe that. I believe he was trying to be friendly, but he called us Negroes. That's effed up, man. That's the mindset that he's still in the mindset that we Negroes. I mean, it is pathetic. But if we keep doing what we're doing, we're gonna annihilate ourselves. We gotta change the mindset from a want to a need. And let me say this though. We spend too much money on bullshit. I'm gonna tell you the truth. If you ain't got no damn money, your ass ain't going no damn where. When you start, you can work the rest of your life to pay damn bills.
What mentality? Houston is famous for its suburbs, right? Mm. There's a lot of suburbs here, especially they have names, Confederate names on their streets, and black folks will move there. There's a whole neighborhood was called Sienna Plantation, and black folks moved to that development with a name like Sienna Plantation. Now, what mentality? What I want to be as close to white folks as I can get to make me buy a house on Confederate Drive or Sienna Plantation. What is in my mind, my black mind, for me to go out and do that?
And you're going to see that every day you drive out of that neighborhood and back in.
Now, what white person would buy a home in a subdivision and the street is called Martin Luther King Drive or Malcolm X Boulevard or one of our great leaders' name?
But look at it.
So what mentality, what is it in our DNA to where we would go and spend $400,000 to buy a house in that kind of in a neighborhood with that name, with that insensitivity?
We already know it's a racist neighborhood.
Right.
What I see is us, like you said, a rich man, Jay-Z, don't have to prove anything. By us We buy these expensive things and we present them to our people that we know. Because let's say you got a car with these big ass rims on it, you don't see shit. That's for everybody else to see. So you spending all this damn money to show some people some stuff that don't give a shit about you, and you want to act like you up here, but you're really down here. You done wasted all that money at damn renter center.
But
Renter
slabs are big here in Houston. What is unique in San Antonio?
Labs.
That they call them slabs with
The tires.
with the spikes that come way out from the car. You've seen them.
Yeah.
Next time
Yeah,
you
them damn spike, the spokes.
Yeah, they call them slabs.
Mhm.
That's what they call them here.
And it's
And
a
it's a
hundred
whole
of them over there.
it's a whole community of them.
I seen them on a parade.
So I look at that as a fact. But when black folks move, when black folks ignore their own history
Mhm.
and move to a place because the housing is nice, it's the place to live. But how do you fix your mind? Like we didn't move there when I moved to Houston because I came here to be the regional director of the NAACP. What would it look like? I'm working for the NAACP and living in a neighborhood called Sienna Plantation. So
Got messed up.
on a street called Confederate Drive.
You know,
So I guess what I'm saying is, what is it about our DNA? Do we want to be Americans so bad that we do stuff like that?
We've been messed up, man. We've been messed up. Every black person should seek some counseling because our brains are fucked. We got to change that. But I can tell you what we can do to change. We gotta reconnect. Now think about it. Wait a minute. We practiced religion. We practiced everything. We shopped a certain way. We grew certain things. We did all this stuff before we were colonized, before they came in. So when they came in, they took our religion. They took everything. They made us change our language. So we changed all that stuff and adopted theirs. And today we're still practicing theirs. And that is the problem. We got to reconnect to what we were before they took us into slavery, into bondage. I don't want to call it slavery because we were that means we are slaves. I want to call it bondage or prisoners of war, prisoners of something, prisoners of the state, because we were in bondage and we were prisoners. And that is what I see the problem is. But let's get out of the problem by trying to get people to understand that you're the best as you want to be. Do not play yourself down so somebody else can feel big. Play yourself on the same level and don't worry about how you talk because we got our own damn language. How can a Chinese person talk the way they talk and everybody accept, oh yeah, that's a Chinese right there, or a Mexican come over there and can speak 3 or 4 words and you accept that as normal. But when we say something like what we say, some tea, I'm going to get some tea. You know what that means?
Something to eat.
Yeah, you're going to get something to eat. But white folks don't know that. But that's just a word that came to my mind. But we got hundreds of words that we say that are black words, and nobody know what the hell we talking about. So, like somebody put this long thing with all initials, and it means like get your damn ass in this damn house before I beat your ass. And it's initials for every one of those words. Just in he said, if you know what this is, you black. It's a smart way to do things. I think nobody else say nothing like that. Get your ass in this house.
I think anytime you take a mass of anything and say to that mass of anything that you're not nothing, and then all of a sudden say you something again, it depends on your environment, where you were, what you're exposed to.
You think they did it in stages? You think they did it in stages?
Yeah, they did it in stages. They our humanity was given back to us in stages.
Mm-hmm. And it still ain't. It's still down. It ain't giving us everything.
And we still don't have our full humanity. That's why I'm saying it's psychological damage that's so deep because we were never given our humanity. We're still fighting for our humanity. What happened to that woman in Springfield, Illinois? If that ain't a true illustration of that,
of how they look at it.
They've been interviewing these pundits on TV, these different brothers and different talking heads on TV. They don't know what to say no more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How do you explain that?
Right. Let's go to education. I mean, that's a need as well. But if you have children and they're going to school and they got to be like in junior high, they need to decide before they go to high school whether they are academically equipped or mechanically equipped. And if they are mechanically equipped, they're good with the hands. Don't let them go in there and start taking trigonometry and all these dumb classes that don't do them no damn good. Get them in a school that offer a vocational program so they can learn a trade. HVAC, air conditioning, plumbing, electrical, carpentry, and on down the line. There are thousands of career fields they can go in. They don't have to go to college. But the one thing I don't like is people go to college after high school, and after they complete those 4 years, they owe somebody at least $150,000 for their education. And see, how the hell can you come out of college and you ain't even got a job yet, and you got a bill that damn substantial? You cannot survive if you allow the government to fool you into that process. That's why I'm saying when you come out of high school, it ain't time to go to college. You need to figure out something else before you go. And the other thing is you should stay home until you're like 20, 21, because you're not ready. They don't teach you shit in high school that you need to survive. They do not teach survival. What they teach is how to sit down for 8 hours and follow rules. That's what they teach you. But the only ones that are successful are the ones that break the damn rules.
I've always thought that education was about the mind, about being able to think critically and look at issues or look at situations and say, well, because you can have a skill, but you still need a mind to go along with it. So I do agree with you. I think education I don't think that we ever really fully received an adequate education broadly in this country.
We don't get it. High schools, elementary schools, junior high schools, all under the European doctrine. Everything they teach you is not for us. It's not designed for us. Some of it, maybe one or two, I ain't gonna say how many, I don't know how much, but I know it is a European doctrine. It is not for Black people. They designed that doctrine off of white people. And that when Blacks and whites take the SAT test, the Blacks may score 700 to 1,400.
No, more like 700 to 900.
And the white people gonna score 900 to what?
1,100 to 1,400.
Okay, 11 to 14. So the point is, they got more out of those classes than you did on every level, at least 97% of the time. Yeah. So that tells me that doctrine that they're teaching is not for you. Even what is that test they take? The STAR test every year or some kind of test?
Yeah, STAR test.
They give the kids. Yeah. That test is not designed for Black people. It's designed for white people. So Black people never score very good scores. You might have 1 out of 50 that score pretty good, but the majority of black people don't score well on that test. And the ones that they know not gonna graduate, they
Let
just
me
go
ask you a
to
question.
school.
So it's the top 10% that they passed that black legislators got through the legislature. That if
Mhm.
you're in the top 10%, regardless of the type of school you go to, you
Mhm.
can get into the University of Texas
But how
or
many black
state
people gonna be in
university.
the top 10%?
Well, but you got, even if it's a low performing school, you got still got a top 10%. One of the issues in Houston right now is you got a lot of Indian immigrants. They buy houses in these low income areas. Their
Mhm.
kids are zoned to a particular school, but yet
Mhm.
they go to the magnet school somewhere. They get in the top 10 and they're in a higher fever, but they're counted against the minority school. And so they get to go to college, any
Mhm.
college in the state of Texas, state university, because they're in the top 10%. Is
Mhm.
that they game the system? They
Mhm.
game the system.
And they win it. I
And
would
so
say,
no matter what we do, no
mhm,
matter what we do, no matter what legislation we pass, it winds up benefiting somebody else.
yeah.
I don't
That's
care what
why
else.
that's why I say black people don't go in debt to go to college. If it's
So
going to cost you more than so many dollars that you think you can afford, you're going to be in a world of hurt when you graduate. You're going to owe so many people that money. So I would advise you to either pay as you go or find another avenue to get your education or
you know,
go to another type of career. But don't get in debt and come out owing all that damn money. Wait.
and the sad part about that, Brother Bay, and being in 247 listeners is the highest rate of debt is at these historically black colleges and universities
The
with the
HBC.
lowest graduation rates. So not only do the kids leave school without a diploma, but they also are in debt when they leave and don't graduate. And
And
that
then
just,
you gotta face
brother,
the organizations when you come out of college. You go into these white organizations to apply for a job that you found on USA Jobs or something like that. You go in there and you sitting on a line with 10 people and 5 or 7 of them white. You might have a Chinese in there, and you ain't got no damn chance to get that job.
now you do have,
One of those white boys gonna get it, or that Chinese gonna get it.
and maybe I have a distorted view because I'm in Houston,
Tell me about it.
but and Houston has a large black population.
Mm-hmm.
So there are a lot of black entrepreneurs now. I mean, I think they're younger and they're going into businesses,
Mm-hmm.
all different types of businesses, restaurant businesses, service
Mm-hmm.
industries. So I think you have that where you have large concentrations of black folks,
Mm-hmm.
and Houston is one of
You
those
have
places.
what?
Hmm?
You have what?
Large concentrations of black people.
Okay.
You know, Houston, Atlanta. I think you see it in Houston. You see it in Atlanta. You see it in places with large concentrations of black folks. Black
Mm-hmm.
folks are doing what the things we're talking about, but also you have high concentrations of poverty and high concentrations of people not succeeding, homelessness, and that kind of stuff. And they tend to have our faces on them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a major problem. I just really believe until we can figure out, and this show does it because I think we talk about the Constitution, we talk about the 13th, 14th. I listen to a lot of the podcasts.
Let's start doing a 15 to 30-minute session on civics. Let's
Well,
start adding that to our talk.
I think we should because I think
Okay.
that we didn't get here through osmosis. I mean, you brought up you you created a greater understanding in the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment than I originally had. But because you brought it up on this show, I've done some more research, and you're exactly right. And I
Mm-hmm.
think part of that dichotomy is our we still we still don't have our humanity, brother.
Mm-hmm.
We still don't have that 100% value, brother.
Yeah, because we're still looked upon as less than. I mean, let me tell you something. A white person can show up in America today, and tomorrow they'll receive more respect from people in America than a black person. They just got here. We've been here. We were the first ones here. All these other people came over here from after us.
And,
We've been here
and there are
thousands
still
of years.
places in this country where our skin color is out of place.
Yes, it
Where
is.
you'll be shot because you're out of place.
Yep.
Where you'll be pulled over, regardless of your wealth, regardless of the car you drive, regardless of your parents' profession, you're out of place.
If you're black,
your humanity doesn't belong in that type of place. Just ask Bobby.
So we should be able to travel, and just like there's nothing to it. But the only thing I can tell you right now for is education. Learn the law. Learn how the law applies to whatever you intend to do. Because if you know the law, you can beat them at their own game.
The good thing about it, one thing that white America understands is money.
Mm-hmm.
And black people, and thanks to people like, what's the lawyer in Florida that's handling the case? What's his name?
I forgot. I know you're talking about.
Not Johnny Cochran, but he's the Ben Crump.
Yeah, he had every damn.
But money and suing these municipalities doesn't stop the problem.
No, it doesn't.
You would think after George Floyd, after Sandra Bland, that when these cities are sued for millions of dollars, that it would stop.
It's so many people that's been killed by the police, man.
This woman called the police, killed in her own home.
Look at that. I mean,
and
that's a lot.
They're all shades of black. They ain't just dark black. They're all shades of black.
This whole chart full of black people with melanin in their skin.
So money does not create an environment where we have 100% of humanity. Where you live doesn't give you 100% of humanity. The car doesn't give you 100% humanity.
Look, when black people move into these white neighborhoods, people spray paint their houses. They throw shit bags on the porch. They do all kind of little shit that you don't really hear about. But these white folks be wanting to run your ass up out of that.
What's the brother that was jogging in Georgia? Jogging through his neighborhood. And them two white boys pulled over and treated him like they was out hunting animals and stuff.
You in your own shit.
And he just jogging. Just looking in houses that they was built like what normal people do. I've done it.
Me too.
And you got
I want to be.
So until we, I know we talk about a lot on BNN 247, but until we help black folks, until we understand our humanity and come together on that definition and march forward from that point of view,
we're doomed. One thing, like I said a few minutes ago, if you learn the law, you can beat them at their own game. And I've been fighting since I've been 12 years old, these white folks. I have not stopped the fight yet. I mean, even up to my age right now, I'm still fighting white folks.
I was in Virginia, right outside of DC, in one of the suburbs. It was I had went to the store at like 12 o'clock at night. This young cop, real young cop, pulled me over because he said it seemed like I didn't know where I was going.
You wasn't committing a crime.
He said I looked suspicious. He said your activities were suspicious.
Is that a crime?
Now, no. I wasn't going to challenge no cop in that part of Virginia at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
So I went along with this.
That's that conditioning. That's that conditioning we have. We got to realize we got a right to say what we want, but the more you say, the more in danger you are. So you probably did the right thing at that moment.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. And not, I mean, I was with it was my sister in the car, it was me, and it was the cop.
Mm-hmm.
And
He could have killed both of y'all and said y'all had a gun. He could do
he
anything.
yeah, and then he came up to the car, he asked me what was wrong. And he was a young cop, man. A young guy. Like probably in his if he was 30, that'd be stretching. He was that young.
Mm-hmm.
Out on patrol late at night by himself. He was already scared.
All right, let's talk about housing. Well, I mean, housing, in my mind, let's say we're making, like I said, 35,000, 40,000 a year, and we're looking in high-end apartments or high-end houses where we want to pay $2,000 rent. You cannot pay $2,000 rent because you're going to have another $1,000 on top of that for utilities and all the other things you're going to need for that house. Think about it. If you're going to get something up at $2,000 a month, that's what, $20,000 or $24,000 at the end of the day. Now, look, you only make 40,000. You got a little bit left for a lot more other things. You're going to have credit cards. You're going to have other expenses. Your children got to go to school. You got to get a place within your means. I know you want you want to impress people. Say, yeah, I live over here in Balcones Heights or some beautiful neighborhood that everybody know that's beautiful. You want to say, yeah, this is where I live. And everybody say, oh man, he live in the best neighborhood in the city. That's the kind of stuff that we want others to do to us, to say stuff like that. So I run up to somebody, they ask me where I live. Oh man, you living in High Cotton over there, ain't you? You know, they say some slick shit because you in a certain area, but you have to get a place that's within your means. If you go and get a place that costs that much, then you're hurting yourself. And you can't find a place to live in a week or in 2 weeks. It's gonna take you about a month, maybe even 6 months to get a place. So the best thing I would tell you when you're looking for a place to live, you start 6 months out and start looking at places and start talking to people. So by the time you got to get out of the place you're at, you got a good understanding of how to get this place. You got to educate yourself and you got to know the law. If you just think they're going to tell you when you go to these places to do something business with them, they're not going to tell you shit. They're going to take your money. Even a car lot, they're going to take your money. They're going to take your money. Don't buy that bullshit from them damn side lots because they will get you. I mean, why won't you go to the dealer or to the you can get a new car cheaper than you getting these damn ragged ass cars. It's not fair. Huh?
People want luxury, man. They want the symbols. They want the fancy name cars, and they don't care if it's a used one. They don't care if it's 10 years old or 15 years old. It goes back to the whole identity thing. When you had your humanity taken away, anything that gives you your identity, that's what you want. Whether it's on your body, whether it's on your head, whether it's on your street name, wherever it is, that defines you.
You don't need name brand clothes.
I mean, look at
brand shit, wasting your money.
Look at the
clothes. Grow out of it.
Look at the clothes Elon Musk wear. Normally, he got T-shirts on there.
And he's a billionaire.
Yeah, he's a billionaire.
And he walking around in a T-shirt. That's what I'm saying, my brothers and my sisters.
And we walking around with Brooks
caught up and buying
Brooks Brothers was a slave. that was a slave. The owners of Brooks Brothers was participated in the slave trade.
Mm.
But black folks go in and
Chase
buy
Bank did
Brooks
too.
Brothers, especially
Bank
college folks.
America. They raped and killed Haiti. Haiti just paid off that damn debt to keep them from coming back in war from France. And that is pretty sad. America went down there and took the gold from Haiti too. I mean, everybody took what they wanted from Haiti.
So, brother,
and left Haiti there to survive.
So until we figure out this identity question, until we get restored our humanity, and I don't know whether that's possible in this country.
Well, I think it is. Abraham Lincoln said that in his executive will, he has an executive will. He said that the people, black people, have to do something in order to improve their status in America. And what he's saying is, you got to take the oath of amnesty to become a true citizen. Because as you came off the plantation, you have never been a citizen. So if you coming off the plantation, that's your ancestor. And you
how about the military? How about a military person who took the oath? A person that went.
Oh, they'll give you your oath of amnesty. You take that when you go in. But you're military. I'm talking about the mass body of black people are not military. They have to take it. We already got our stuff straight because, like you said, we're military. That is one big problem. And another problem is code switching. You know about code switching, Claude?
Yeah, how you change to fit the system.
You and I got a way of talking to each other, right?
Right.
Let's say we had some white guests on here, then we'll be very careful with our words, and we would make sure that we are speaking perfect English, so we don't have to deal with what a white person would say about how we speak. See, I just code switched on you.
Well,
that ain't how I talk.
I have always tried my whole life. I have always tried to talk in a way that I don't have to code switch. When I talk about humanity and dignity and respect and all that kind of stuff, I was around. Tell you a quick story. I was doing a campaign. I was talking to in my office. I had a picture. I had these pictures from not from this museum in Alabama. They they produced this calendar every year, and they had civil rights pictures and everything, right? And one of the images, they had this white woman screaming at the black people in the picture, right? During the Little Rock, you've seen that picture, that famous picture of the during the Little Rock desegregation and the white people.
Little Rock 9, yeah.
And so this white lady, she was talking, she kept looking up at that picture. I said, "Oh, you know the lady in that picture? Is that's your relative? Are you kin to her?" She got so embarrassed, man. She got so red in the face. And a lot of times, unless you work in the civil rights world, or unless you really know who you are as a person, a lot of black people hide their blackness.
They want to hide the blackness?
Deny their blackness, even today.
Wait a minute. What you say? I didn't quite hear you.
I think you can go into some black homes and you would not know that you're in a black home.
Why is that?
Because they don't want to. Did you see that program where that one black family, the realtor came in and saw that black people lived there and gave them a low ball value of their house by millions of dollars?
Yeah, I know they do that. Yeah.
I'm just saying, our blackness, we don't have 100% value in this country.
Because, like you
we're
said,
not valued at 100%.
If you try to sell a house and you get a white realtor to sell it,
you gotta be black. You gotta take out all the black stuff.
You got to do that. That's code switching. Once they'll give you a value less than what your property is. And so now you take out the black family, put the white family in the same house in the same week, and bring in somebody to appraise that house. That house may be double the cost.
Tens of thousands more. Tens of thousands of dollars.
Because black, like you said, the value of us, if we don't demand our value, we're not going to get it.
But we have to stop devaluing ourselves. We got to stop devaluing ourselves. And
you value yourself by not doing things that does not make you a better person. You don't spend your money on things that you don't need.
Do you think
need?
Do you think that what you said in Mississippi, where the white people leave their trays on the table so the black employees come pick it up?
Yeah.
If a black person said something, man, you got to put your own tray. I mean, why do they not say something?
I guess they think they're going to come to their house at night or some shit like that. I don't know. I don't know why they don't say something.
I mean,
I think the manager probably would fire whoever said something to a white man, because a white man owned that damn McDonald's. And I guarantee you that's what it is, though. If they said something, the owner of that place
in 2025, if they told a white customer, man, you got to put your own tray. Because they got the tray things in there. They got the places.
The garbage. Yeah, they got it. But I don't know. I don't.
Normally, when I go to Mississippi, I'll pull in the McDonald's. We just pull in the drive-thru. I'm gonna observe that next time I go through there. God willing, I'm still around.
All right, we've been through food, transportation, education. Now we should talk about empowerment and power, and then we'll close after that. So empowerment is basically your family first empowering you. When you go to work, you're vulnerable, but when you come home, it's almost like plugging your Lexus into the recharge station. You're coming home to get recharged. Your family should show you the love and compassion to recharge you, where you can go back out there the next day and let people know that they're not gonna lower your value. My value is up here, brother. I don't give a damn what you say, and you're not gonna belittle me. You gotta make sure you do it yourself, because they're not gonna do it for you. And you empower yourself. You can't empower nobody else but yourself. In other words, you stand up, you look up, and you don't get off the sidewalk when white folks are coming your way. And you don't answer stupid ass questions, like you parking in the parking garage to go into Saks or one of these beautiful stores, and a white man walked by and he said, "Oh, is that your car?" That may not be a bad question.
Now, let me ask you a question. Do you park on your lawn?
No.
At your house? No. Have you driven in neighborhoods, black neighborhoods, where you see people parking the grass?
All the time.
Why is that?
I don't know. My brother and I were going through a Mississippi town, and we were counting broke down damn cars. It's more broke down damn cars than cars that are running in that town.
No, but were they parked in the yard?
In the yard, huh?
What were they parked in the yard? Is that a security thing?
I don't know. Maybe they didn't have room in the driveway or something. I don't know.
Well, how about
everywhere you go, they park in the yard down there. And
but is it a security
car? They drive the car until it breaks. I mean, they don't change the oil. They don't change the tires. They don't change the fan belt. They don't do anything. If the fan belt break, they park the car and go get another one. It's crazy. You can go down there and get whatever kind of old car you want, sitting in somebody's yard, because it's there. And they've been there a long time. There's some cars been there forever. I mean,
But
it's worth
I
looking
mean,
if you're
I
looking
mean,
for a whole
just
car.
just just the just the culture of parking in the yard, is that a black thing?
I don't know what you think. I don't know what
I don't
that
know.
is.
I'm asking. I'm asking.
I
I
ain't
used
never thought about it. Parking on the grass. That ain't empowerment. I mean, empowerment is what? When you go and I say you stand up to
But what I'm
a
saying
person that's trying to disrespect you.
is it a poverty thing? Is it a money thing? I think you just described a money thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have the ability to get the car fixed. I don't have the ability
Mm-hmm.
to. I think it's a safety thing. I
A
think it's a
safety thing.
safety. I think it's a theft thing. I mean, I think it's a lot of social ills, and people want their possession as close to them as they can get it to feel like they're protected.
Mm-hmm.
And so
So
I think that's what you have in the black community, because the black community is not a secure community.
I wrote down some things I want to read about empowerment and black people. Uh, Sundays, we protect the values of the oppressor. That's
How to
going
do
to
it
church.
on Sundays.
Yeah, we protect the values of our oppressor. They're the ones who gave us that religion. To impress people, we talk about shit that don't even matter. We bring up all kind of bullshit just to sound like we're intelligent, we're informed, we're all over. All right, to impress people, we don't. We rent in places with money we don't have. That's what I was talking about when we said renting in big time places. We spend money at places where they don't want our business. Why the hell we keep going to these places? F them places. Go to your own places. White folk places are some of them really don't want you there, but they'll serve you and they'll underserve you. They won't give you first class service. You might have to wait 20 minutes for a seat, 30 minutes for a waiter to get to your table, and 45 minutes for your food. So you've been sitting in that damn place 2 hours, 2.5 hours for your food come out. You don't think anything's wrong with that? Something's wrong with that picture. I mean, max time to me is like 30 to 45 minutes if it's a holiday or some busy day. But I mean, there's sometimes people just want to do you like that and then put other people in front of you. You know what your place is. You had something?
No, no.
I got a couple more.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. We spend money. Okay. Poor people talk about money all the damn time. Rich people talk about ideas, how they can invent something, do something new. So if we're talking about money all the damn time as poor people, that's an indication. So if you're talking about ideas, that's an indication. Salary is what they give you to forget your dreams. We work for 40 years, and after that 40 years, we still broke. Still broke. Most people are. School teachers um, need us to follow, not to break them up, not to lead them. That's why you're there. We are a nation of workers, not a nation of thinkers. So they program us to be workers, not thinkers. What's in high school where they teach you to be thinkers? They don't.
Yeah.
So I wanted to go through that just to let you know that there's some things that we can change, but we haven't changed them. And it's all right here. It's right between your ears.
Yeah, it's always right between the ears. Again, I think a lot of that. Uh, Again, I think America, a lot of what you're saying is happening.
Make it your closing statement because we're going to get out
Well,
of it.
it's an interesting topic. You know, everything that we talked about starts between the ears.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's not enough. It starts between the ears.
I think that our education system fails us because it doesn't give us that beginning basis to build that humanity upon, to dream big.
Mm-hmm.
Those of us that are fortunate enough to belong to certain groups and organizations
Mm-hmm.
and opportunities that come our way. But that's just a small percentage of Black people in this
Let me
country.
ask you a question. Do you think that the kids that went to all Black schools come out better in life than kids that go to mixed schools?
Well, I think you and I can answer that. I went to all Black school. You went to an all Black school?
Yeah.
I think going to an all Black school does give you a greater awareness of who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Value.
I,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, most schools, my daughter, her high school, they have a Black Studies program at the high school level. When
Mm-hmm.
my wife, when we first came to Houston, my wife got in trouble because I convinced her to start an NWCP chapter at her high school. So society is not really ready to empower Black people on a grand scale.
So we're running into what they want and what we want.
Well,
I mean,
we're part of.
why would we wait for society to want us to do some shit? I mean, I'm the type. If I was in a place where everybody had this attitude that they needed to get change for Black people, then I'd be damn down with them. I'm ready to make a move. We've been sitting still, saying they're not ready, they can't handle this. We need to do something. Like that brother that got all those black people together with M15s with the weapons, and they went up the what is that mountain? Some mountain where the Klan was formed, and they walked the street. It was over 100 of them, and they was calling for the Klan. They didn't come out.
Stone Mountain.
Huh?
Stone.
Stone Mountain. Yeah.
Well, I
So
mean, but there are examples like that throughout history. I mean, donning
mm,
the military uniform is an example of that.
mm,
So since our existence in this country from day one, from the American Revolution, I mean, we've done all that.
mm-hmm. We
We've
put
done
them
it.
when it was crisis time. They come to us to solve the problems.
But
When somebody messed something up in an organization, the next thing they do is put a Black person in there to fix it. That's what they do.
yeah,
Black people go in there and they fix it, and then when they fix it, they take the Black person out and put a white person in there, and give them credit for it being fixed.
right. But I mean, but you got this collage of Black people. We're a very diverse
Mm,
community in this country, and we don't all think alike. I mean, we come together when one of us are victimized, but we don't come together at other times. And until we take the opportunity to come together during those times when we're not victimized, when we can clearly think about the future and the direction we want to go, I think we're going to continue to face the problems that we face
mm,
uh, by talking about it, by exposing it, by challenging the normal notion, because this is part of that process.
mm,
You know, talking about the things that we talk about on BNN 247. So, and you have a recommendation and you have a solution. You said we got to go back from day one and be a part of this country. We're not really a part of this. We're not really citizens.
mm.
I I tend to disagree a little bit because I think when we donned that uniform, we became a citizen.
Yeah.
What more right of citizenship do you have than to be willing to die for that citizenship?
But
And then,
still, they don't like. Look at that tank unit that they left out there for 180 days. They left them out there to fend for themselves. and they didn't give them a resupply. They had to go and take what they wanted, fix their own rounds for those
But they
tanks.
went there, but they went into battle knowing that, because
Mhm.
the bigger purpose was coming back to this country and being a citizen in this country, being part of this country.
Mhm.
And even though that was got some killed, got some maimed, that's why I think we can't give up on those sacrifices.
Mhm. Just like the Red Tails too.
Yeah, we can't give up on that.
Tuskegee
What those
Air.
people fought for. I mean, we've shed blood for this country.
Mhm.
When
Agreed.
we only had one bullet in the gun, and
But
everybody else had a whole magazine.
when they came back, I'm sorry to interrupt your speech, your closing, but I wanted to tell you, when they came back from the World War II,
Mm-hmm.
the black people were really friendly with the French because they put all the black people under the French leadership. So the black people were living with these white women, the French women, and having a good time. And the French leaders didn't give a damn. Go get in all the meat you want, and that's what they were doing. So now they get back. The war is over. They bringing these women back to America. A general, a four-star general, wrote this letter that I got somewhere saying that although we appraise the black people for doing what they did while they were in war, but now that they are back in America, we need you not to treat them not like they're less than us. You need to treat them like they're not the important people they are, that they think they are, that they're less than us, and they need to be treated that way. The general was basically telling the French people that you need to leave them damn black people alone because they need to be over there and y'all need to be over here. That's what he was saying. And it's a long letter, and it's sad to read that letter after they did so much heroic shit in the war, in the Second World War.
Well,
That's
there those
uh,
two, the, the the killing of the young lady in Illinois
mhm.
and calling that group of black folks niggers in Alabama shows you that the myth of inferiority is still real. It's a lie.
Mhm.
And I don't think about it, man.
Mhm.
You just went to this man's restaurant, you spent your money, and he gonna ask the black guy why he's sitting down with them N words. In
But
2025, almost 2025.
it's pretty sad. All right. That's it, Claude. You got something else?
That's it.
That's it. All right. This is BNN 247, the Black News Network. We broadcast every Sunday at 3:30 p.m. and we have a short take every Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. We thank you for coming, but we need you to go to our YouTube page and subscribe. It don't cost you nothing. Go to our Facebook page and like us and leave some comments. And we can pull your comments up right now. And you can also call in during the show to BNN 247 at 210-241-5493. But this is a situation where we always want to bring you information. And whether you like it or not, we're going to tell you as much as we can get out on that topic. I always said, we as black men, older black men, we got a plethora of knowledge in our heads. And my objective with BNN 247 is to take that knowledge and put it out here for you. Because I don't want to die with everything still in my head when I know some good shit. I want you to have it. So that's one of my reasons for being out here on BNN 247. I'm asking you to watch the show and support us as best as you can. But the bottom line is we do good work for our country and our Black people. I want to thank you for watching the show today. And don't forget, go ahead and subscribe to us. And we'll see you next week.